was in Americas first. Why? Because Egypt is too pretty. It's like all this shit is pretty over here. In the way it looked, the way it was look, Egypt is too pretty. It ain't old enough. Even in its ruins, them big ass columns and shit, them shit's still smooth somehow.
True.
So people are like, yo, ain't no way that shit got built up over time. That looked like somebody went in there and said, listen, let's build it. Mm-hmm. Like if I build a city right now, it's gonna look like Egypt. It's brand new, everything new. Because everything will be new. It's not like, you know, some of the mounds got grass over them. You know, there's a mountain they say in Mexico that's a pyramid. It's like the pyramid is a mountain. There's a mountain under there. Mm-hmm. That got grass on top of it. The grass is growing on top of it. So they got to dig down. They think they'll find one, and it probably is.
Probably is. Yeah.
But just driving by, it's got trees and shit on it now. You wouldn't really be same thing with the mounds in Atlanta and all that.
Yeah.
It's got grass over it now. So you got to be able to see it at a level and know what you're looking at to be able to say, oh, that's a pyramid right there. That's a mound right there. So you know, I that's why I said I love the fact that I was in the Nation of Islam. I love what I was taught as a young man. I love that my word is still bond, and that I try, you know, and I still uphold all the things that I was taught. You know, religiously, I'm not, you know, into the religion of Islam or any religion, because I don't have a religion. I'm Adam. I'm God. We create things. You know, we don't conform to them, except the all, and that's existing, that's living, that's creating. So I don't need to have a religion. I'm a part of the all. I'm tapped into the all. I'm what's worshipped. In the Bible, Adam walked and talked with God in the garden. Literally, that's what it says. It says he walked with him, talked with him in the garden. They hung out together. They walked and talked all day. It wasn't until his great-grandson, it wasn't until his grandson, or maybe it wasn't until Seth's son, that Enoch, that they called on the name of the Lord. So we're talking Cain, Abel, Seth. Enoch is the first time that he called on the name of the Lord. What does that mean? That means the Lord didn't hang out with Enoch.
Right.
So Enoch had to call on the name of the Lord. He had to say, please help me. Whereas his father and those generations didn't do that, because they knew they was God. To me, when it says I walked and talked with the Lord, it's saying I knew I was God. I walked and talked. It's what the 5% say. Yo, I build with the gods. But they just saying one God. We saying I build with the gods. So let's say that let's say the word gods was a different word. Then if you said it and the person didn't know that word was a plurality, they would take it as, Seth's son would take it, or someone down the line would take it as a religious thing and say that I worship the gods. And that's what they did. So yeah, man, we walk with the gods, we talk with the gods, we the gods.
The gods.
we ain't have to worship, so I don't have a religion. I'm God, so I live godly, and that's what I want to be around. I want to be around those people who live and exist at that level of knowledge without having to verify it, because the people they're surrounded by are already verified. They know you God, and they know you living as God, and they support that, and they're making sure that you are living up to those standards, community-wise. So yeah, so I love the Nation of Islam, man. A friend, you know, my enlightener, me and him got into an argument once because he was still in the Nation and I was gone, and I sent young brother there to the Nation. That brother told them that I sent him there.
Yeah.
And so he, you know, got with me. He's like, yo, how the fuck you gonna send him there and you're not even involved no more? You should be back here. Right. And I was like, nah, I don't need to be there. I said, I got what I needed, but he didn't. He young. He need to get what the Nation gave me.
That's powerful. Yeah. That's powerful. I agree fully with that. You know, we do grow out of things, but however, just you sitting here and explaining, you know, your journey, we know that it could be a benefit to another brother or another sister, and be like, just like giving a book. Yeah. You should check this out. even though
exactly
I don't mess with it, you know, or I've surpassed that, or that's not even my way of thinking anymore.
Right. Or you can't talk to me until you read this book.
Right.
You can't talk to me because I done read past that point, but read this book and then we can kind of have a conversation. Now you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Simple, man.
And that's what I like to do, like, because I always say I'm not a teacher, but I can direct you to go read this book and then we can have a more balanced conversation.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the information, I'm not about to sit here and argue with you, but if you go get the information, we can have a conversation and you can have, this is your take, this is my take, and we get closer to a solution.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always implore people to go do the study for yourself.
Facts.
And then we can come back and chat. Because I'm down to talk to anybody, but I'm not going to argue if you don't have a fact.
Right. And so that's one of the negatives of social media, man, because you're talking to people who don't have any facts. Back in the day when you had to actually, you know, I love the 5%. I love Wu-Tang's little show because it does teach you what the first episodes. It does teach you what life was really like. Yo, imagine getting your ass kicked because you don't know the knowledge.
Yeah. What's the map, God?
Because you ain't read the books. Imagine that. Imagine people being so gung-ho and so powerful, like, yo, you can't talk to me. You can't pretend. Because basically what we were doing is, you can't teach somebody something you don't know.
Right.
So, that's powerful as fuck, man. If you really think about it, it's like, yo, I'm not going to say anything until I master this shit. So that if somebody sees me or hears me, they know I got my shit down pat. Because if not, then they know I'm misleading the people, and they put the beat down on you.
Facts.
That's manhood. That's manhood. That's an aspect of manhood right there. That's like, yo, what are you doing over there, man? What you telling them?
And that's the thing.
That ain't cool what you telling them, man. You trying to mislead them in some way? And now you got to deal with the consequences. We don't deal with consequences no more. Online, ain't no consequences. You got to decide. You got to decide not to engage with a person. As a person that has knowledge self. Or you have to decide when it's time to not comment anymore.
Right. You have to bow out.
Yeah, I bow out all the time. I've said enough to get it right. Right now, this is now, and no one is coming. Not a lot of people come later and be like, "Oh yeah, you was right, man. This other person is crazy." Because you still get people who look at people post and you're like, "Damn." And you look at the post and it's like a year later, you're like, damn, somebody reading that shit? And you be like, where'd that come from?
Right.
Right, because there's still people who doing that. And that's the only thing you can, that little like is the only thing you get to say, oh, okay, maybe I got a bunch of people who read through this shit and realized like, yo, this nigga hot is saying what's what.
Right.
And this other person is crazy. But back in the day, you know, you lived and grew up around everybody, so everybody knew who was God and who was what. And the more media, the more internet came, the more white boys got into music and the hip hop. That shit blew my mind, man. I like DMX, man.
I love it.
But when them niggas start calling each other, like I'm telling you, people didn't call each other dog. Like you 30, you said? You probably didn't grow up. Everybody was calling each other dog when you grew up. People did not call each other dog.
Wow. Because I'll say that. I'll be like, dog. I'll be like, my dog. Yeah.
Nobody called each other dog. When I was young, you were God. God, Lord, beloved. That's what, and you know, I know I'm from New York, so that's an isolated experience. But you gotta imagine what happened for me. Some brothers, it blew my mind when people who I thought were God, but they're only, you know, rappers and shit like that, who I thought were God body. It made sense when Rakim and Big Daddy Kane disappeared to me, because the audience ear was different.
Yeah.
You know, it made sense when there was no more, you know, Just Ice to me and Lakim Shabazz and all that. But there are people who changed. Like Queen Latifah, Didn't nobody think Queen Latifah was gay in the 80s? She was
a,
Queen Latifah.
She was
ladies first and all that shit.
To me, I always look at her and I just shake my head these days because.
But Queen Latifah wasn't gay. Her boyfriend got killed. Mm-hmm. That might have turned her gay because she was really in love with the dude. We heard that story, and that's when it changed. But they changed too.
Yeah.
People went. The more you grow as an adult, you go quiet. Mm-hmm. The words go quiet. So when people start calling themselves dog, I used to call them niggas dyslexic, man.
Because it's backwards.
Yeah, you backwards, nigga. I was like, man, you dyslexic, man. Don't call me dog. You dyslexic.
Wow.
Call me by, like Erykah Badu said, call me by my name. You know what I'm saying? Call me God. Don't call. And of course, every man don't mean nothing. Yes, it do.
They do. Because
everything means something for where we come from. Because you get your ass beat knowing the wrong shit. You got to be that disciplined to create culture again. Culture ain't nothing but rituals.
Facts.
Culture is something that you create that you just do over and over and over again. So that means you got to be that gung-ho about it for it to become culture. People are dumb.
I agree.
They're historically ignorant, man. Unity is revolutionary. Babies are not united. Babies don't care about you. Babies want to eat. They're selfish. They cry. They don't share. They don't like you. If you don't like them, they want their shit. These are babies to toddlers. If that is true, and it is, it's a fact, can't nobody argue that, then that means that's who we all are. And that means that we were taught to be different. But when were we taught to be different? That means that at some point, we were all into adulthood exactly like babies. So them adults that you know who are spoiled and narcissistic and whatever else you want to call them, traumatized, everybody want to say they traumatized and give them excuses. No, they just grown ass babies. No one disciplined them into being revolutionary. And what do I mean by that? I mean that being united is a revolutionary thought. Babies don't share nothing. You put two babies down, one of them wants something, somebody's going to cry because somebody's going to get hit, and somebody's going to get banged over the head, and somebody's going to lose. At some point, you had to, human beings as a species realized it was better to help each other than to fight over the fruit.
Right. We
can fight over the low-hanging fruit. I can get one or two of those low-hanging mangoes. Or one of us is strong. I'm a little dude. I get on your shoulders. You lift me up. We 10 foot tall.
Right.
Now I can drop down as many goddamn mangoes as we can stand, and we can get full. That's a revolutionary thought. So unity is revolutionary. At that level, civilization is miraculous. And we are the creators of civilization. That's why we God.